Hello YouTube, it's William. I'm going to talk about axe versus large knives again. I've been getting a lot of comments on this, and this is a very passionate discussion. Some people, well, they just love their big knives, and I don't blame them. I love big knives too. But there's some things that I want to address. One of them is safety. I keep hearing that big knives are safer than axes, and I think it's all relevant. If you're more comfortable with a knife than an axe, then yes, it's probably safer than an axe. Okay. If you don't know how to use an axe, and I guess that goes back to comfort level, because you use a knife more, so you're going to be more experienced with that knife. So then yeah, it may be safer. But let's just take out skill level for a moment, okay? Let's say that that you had no experience with either one, okay? So you're going out into the forest, and you have a choice between a large knife and an axe. So let's just look at the comparison as far as my opinion goes for a moment. And I'm not trying to sway anybody to anything. I'm just looking at it from trying to be unbiased as much as possible. Okay? So let's just look at the comparison. First one is weight. Now, I've heard it said that I would rather carry a large knife because it's not as much weight, which is true. So I don't have anything smaller than a small forest axe, so that's what I'm going to kind of compare it to a couple of my knives. One of them being the Johnny Rancher, which is in my opinion, a large knife. It's made out of 1095 3/16 steel, and my bush tool, which is basically a large knife. It's smaller than a parang, so it's just a large knife, which is made out of 3/16 1095 steel as well. Okay, so let me reposition the camera. We're going to set it up on a pair of scales, and excuse me, we'll go from there. Okay, now I don't know how accurate these scales are, so we're just going to use it for all knives, and you get a kind of a basic comparison. This is a pair of cheap scales. So this is the Whittling small forest axe, and it's about 1 pound 8, 9, 10, 11, about 1 pound 11 ounces, which is around 28 ounces. Okay, and that's for the Whittling small forest axe. All right, so let's look at the next largest knife, which is the WC Knives bush tool. Okay, you've seen the videos on it, and you're going to have some type of sheath on it. And this is just a light Kydex sheath. I mean, if you had a leather sheath, then it would probably be weigh a little bit more than this, but not much. So, in comparison, that's 1 pound and 1 ounce. So let's just say 17 ounces. Okay, 28 ounces versus 17 ounces. So you're about, what, 11 ounces difference? Okay. Okay, the next knife is my Johnny Rancher, and you've seen that. And that is 16, 15, 14. That is 14 ounces. Okay? Alright, we looked at weight. Now let's look at length. And you can tell that this is about a 19.5 inch axe here, a small forest axe. Now again, if you used a hatchet, the weight would be decreased from this, and also the length of it. So this is fairly a standard knife, okay? So the overall length of this, I mean, it's probably comparable to the BK2, which I think the BK2 is 1/4 inch steel, which would be quite a bit heavier. Heard stories, and I don't know if it's true or not, but that it weighs around 2 pounds. So compare that to the axe, and it's actually heavier than an axe. But so this one's about a foot, counting the sheath and everything. Granted, you can put it on your belt, tie it to your pack, but you can tie the axe to your pack as well. You can slip this axe into your belt if you wanted to carry it that way. So I think you could carry either one in very similar fashion. So 12 inches versus 19 and a half. So what would you say, 6 inches difference? Maybe 6.5, 7.5? No, yeah, 7.5 inches difference. Okay, now if you compare it to the bush tool and just kind of lay them on top of one another like that. So 19.5 versus 15. So a difference of 3.5 inches. And when I think of large knives, this is what I think of. I don't know, maybe you think that this is more of a large knife, which it is a large knife. And but differences in length, there you go. It's not that much difference in my opinion, but it's a personal decision, I think. Now the other thing that I get told a lot is batoning a knife is safer than using an axe. Okay, well, let's look at that. This is the axe. The only thing that's going to cut you, wow, get a little steel wool on that. The only thing that's going to cut you is this portion here. Okay? So that portion on this axe, and granted if you have a different axe, it'll be different, is about 2 3/4. The portion that will hurt you on this knife is this portion. That's the sharp portion, which is 6 3/4. So a difference of 4 inches. So you have 4 inches more of what's going to cut you on this knife than on the axe, if my math is right. This knife can stab you. You fall on this knife, it will stab you. You fall on this, it would have to be land perfectly for you to fall on it and stab. 6 3/4 inches versus what? This much. I'd rather have this much sticking in me than this much. Just my opinion. Okay? This much is what's going to hurt you on this knife, whether you stab, cut, or whatever. That is about 5.5 inches. Okay? So which one is safer? Weight. You say, well, if you get hit with an axe, there's more weight there, it's going to do more damage. It's going to chop off a toe. That's true. But you get hit with this, you're going to chop off a finger. So if you're unsafe with your tools, you're going to get hurt. I mean, that's just a given. Alright. Now you've seen the previous videos of me busting kindling with an axe. And anytime we're in the woods, I try to act like it is something that I'm preparing for in case of emergencies. Now others go out there and just have a good time, which I try to. But again, it's to increase my skill level. So to me, it is a calorie game when anytime I'm in the woods camping or playing or whatever. I'm practicing skills. To me, it takes less calories to process kindling with an axe than it does batoning with a knife. That's me. So you be the judge. I give you a weight comparison. I give you a safety comparison. And again, you have to use all your tools safely, otherwise they will hurt you. Some will hurt you quicker than others. Some will hurt you worse than others. But that's the comparison in my opinion. So you guys make the decision. Me, I love knives. I'm a custom knife maker. But I think the axe is getting a little bit of a bad rap. And I think an axe has its place. And I don't think that we need to throw it to the side. If you're a ultralight camper or backpacker, do you need to process wood? Very seldom do I process wood on camp. It has to be large wood that I cannot find smals hanging on the trees for tinder, that I have to get inside some wood to get to dry wood to start a fire, which is very seldom. That's my area of woods. Your area may be something totally different. You may have to process wood every time you go out. But in all likelihood, me, I will probably have a large knife, a small knife, a medium knife, and an axe on camp. That's just me. So you have to consider your skill level, what you like, your area of operation, and go from there. But I wanted to address those items like I saw and let you be the judge. So until the next one, you guys get out in the woods. Get in the backyard, whittle on a stick. Just have fun in the outdoors. Learn your tools. Learn which one works for you. Don't take experts, so-called experts' advice. And let's talk about experts for a moment. An expert is someone we deem as expert. Okay? If we crown that person as an expert, then in our mind he's an expert. But if I compare the experts of today, and there's a lot of people out there with a lot of knowledge, a lot more knowledge than I have. But if I compare those people with the natives people, or with the long hunters, or with the mountain men, then they probably come up a little short. So it depends on your definition of expert. So it's another little tidbit of an opinion. That's a Williams opinion. So until the next one, I've rambled enough. You guys get out in the woods, go whittle on a stick. Do take plenty of band-aids and lots of knives. We'll catch you again soon.